Good morning, traders. So let's have a look at the Aussie. So the Aussie is back in this zone of resistance. I've already drawn the lines in for us, and we'll look at them pretty much on the daily. You'll see where I'm getting those lines from. But you can see this is quite a strong zone of resistance here, and price is back in this area. One important thing to notice on the weekly is that from an ichimoku perspective, we are kind of bearish. Okay, so we do have a flat cloud, which is indicating range. We've got a flat Kijinson and Tekinson, which is indicating range. We did break through with Chico span here, break through price, and now we've broken back through price. Okay, so kind of indecision. That's indecision. This is indecision, and we're at a major level. Okay, so if we drill down to daily, and you'll see this level that is a lot clearer. Now, the last couple of days, I've been kind of in two minds as to how this is going to play out, because we've had 1, 2, and pretty much 3 bearish signals. Okay, now I have been burnt so many times with the Aussie when things are glaringly obvious that the trade goes the opposite direction. Okay, which is pretty much what happened yesterday, and but I can show you the reason for that, okay, and I'll do that on the 1 hour time frame. So the one thing that I am concerned about here, well, concerned if I'm long, at this stage I'm not in the market, but this grouping of the oscillators here is a worry if you're looking for longs, okay. When I see this on the daily, I proceed with a lot of caution, especially if it's if a low time frames are saying long, because all that it means is we're pushing to another level, and the level is close. Okay, so what you typically want to see is a grouping of the dailies like this, and then you rally to the top, and you swing trade that whole layered move. Okay, but now let's just add another line to the bottom here, because this is our big range. So we're top of range again. That's pretty much what we are. Okay. We could potentially have a double top or a triple top. Depends what happens today. Now, the question that we should be asking ourselves is, yesterday's daily, was that an exhaustion bar? Okay. Now, remember, an exhaustion bar happens when you have a solid looking bar like this, which is going into a level. And I also just add the oscillators into it as well. So you can see this daily here was clearly not an exhaustion bar, but it was an indication of good momentum to the upside. We're not at a level, we're kind of in the middle of a range, so there was momentum to the upside. So if you were long from this one here, you would have waited through all this nonsense to see what happens here, because you're looking for the second move up. Okay, so this was the first move. We're looking for the second move. Okay. Sorry, this flickering is from the platform I'm using. Okay, so let's just get down to the 4 hours so we can start seeing what we need to do today. Okay, so there is merit for the bulls. We have an inverse head and shoulders here. So there is a shoulder, there is a head, and there's a shoulder. Or you could argue that it's a cup and a handle. Irrespective, there is merit for the bulls for a move to the upside. Okay, Ichimoku is flat. Okay, we're sort of running nicely to the upside. Kijinson and Tekinson came together here. We bounced off. We're at a level, and you can see how Chico span is starting to hover. Okay, and that's basically because it's lagging 26 periods and price has been hovering. The cloud itself, if we just move over so we can see the whole cloud. So the cloud itself is pretty large, which is basically indicating that the momentum is slowing down, or volatility is kind of slowing down. So it's typical of a range. So you'll notice when price moves rapidly in a direction, the cloud is thinner, and when it's just going horizontal, the cloud gets thicker and thicker and thicker. Okay, and it also makes it more difficult for price to break through. But let's just get down to the 1 hour. So first thing I want to do is just point out yesterday's long trade. So when you looked at the daily time frames, you could see, well, very suspect. You need to be caution. But pretty much at the open, we had this falling wedge validate, and we also had a double bottom. Can't see that clearly with the cloud, so let's just make sure that I got it right. Yeah, I got it right. Okay, so you can see here on the lower time frame, this was the one wedge that we broke out. Okay, but there was another wedge which happened the day before. Okay, and I'm going to just do that. So remember, I often ignore the very first pin bar, or the first tail, or top, or whatever you want to call it, when I start drawing trend lines, and I just go from the second one. It normally gives me a better view of what's going on. So you can see here, we had a falling wedge, we had a breakout, we had a retest at the open, and we had an indecision candle at a level. You could have waited for a confirmation bar like this and then gone long, or alternatively taken the chance, gone long here. Your risk to reward was fabulous. So I think it was like a 50 or 60 pip risk, and you could have got out at this level because of all this sideways indecision motion. Or alternatively, you could have just kept your stop below Kijinson here and let it play out for its measured move. So what was its measured move? Its measured move was essentially from here to that tail. Okay, so because that's where price moved, price went and created a high there, and then what you do is from the low point, which is here, you move to the upside, and there it is. We hit that measured move spot on. Okay, so this is the reason why you look at what happens at the open and take that opening trade without hesitation. Okay, if you're wrong, you're wrong, but at least your risk there is under 100 pips. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to break the bank. But your risk being 100 pips and your reward being 700, and I cleared 720 pips from this move. Okay, so what are we doing today? I think this is the big question. So first things first, we have this double top in play. You can see how the sellers were here and the sellers were here. And then we rallied the last hour and a half of trading. Okay, oscillators starting to group towards the top. And if I come to the lower time frames, we're also starting to group at the top. Okay, so what we're getting, let's just have a look what's happening on the 4 hour. Okay, the 4 hour, the oscillators are also, they're not a decent grouping, but they are grouping. Okay, so my view on this right now is, sorry, there's something that I saw just now that I haven't drawn in. And we need to just put this trend line in here. Okay. So, and we think, oh, wrong line. What we want to do is do that. Okay, it's not exact, but you'll get the picture. So what we have here is we have a rising wedge inside a range. Okay, so this is indicating that we are going to be moving back to the downside, probably to come test the bottom of the range. Now, the question is, how do we see this playing out? So if we just have a look at the international markets quickly, cryptos are getting hammered, but the 10 cent is down 0.7% at this stage. The US closed, the Dow was down almost 0.5% yesterday, but the S&P was also down 0.4%. So Nasdaq was flat, and I think Nasdaq is a key driver with must pass. So anyway, we've had a break of this wedge. We have had a breakout and we've had a retest. So I'm sort of the opinion that I'm going to take a short at this level. It's going to take a lot to break through here, and I don't see anything in the market. I don't see a lot in the market right now that will get us to break to the downside, get us to break through, sorry. I see more, the high probability is the downside trade. Now, if we can now just delete the longer term ones and let's just get with the hour to see what we have here. So we've got this and pretty much a channel. Okay, so we do have a channel here. So yes, I think what I'll be doing is looking for a short anywhere in this area. Okay, and probably the best way of doing this would be to come down to a lower time frame and watch what happens here. So you can see on the lower time frame how everything's grouping. So on the 6 minutes we are starting to group nicely. So we may have a gap down, more than likely have a gap down, probably a small gap down, maybe a pullback to close a gap, and then a move to the downside. And your first target is going to be this trend line. Okay, then what you need to do is you need to watch for a break of the cloud. So there's a couple of things you need to watch for, and I'd watch for it sort of, for me, it'll be on the 12-minute. So first things I watch for is a crossover, and there has been a crossover already. You can see Kijits and Tikans have crossed over. The second thing I'm watching for is for Chiku span to break through price and the cloud. And then the third thing I'm watching for is a cloud to twist. The reality is we are 400 odd points away from that. So what we may do is just get a move into this area today, consolidate a bit, and then break through, or bounce off here and continue on our merry way up. Okay, so sorry, I just want to drill down to the Bull Williams quickly, because if we look at what's happening here on the Bull Williams, I was actually just looking for the Bollinger Band, see if we've got an M. We kind of got an M, but not really. Let's just look at the top. No, so there's nothing really here that is indicating a turn. So we may just range a bit first before move down, but I'm definitely still looking for a long, looking for a short at somewhere in this area here. Okay, I highly doubt we're going to break through with a vengeance. What we may do is basically come and tag. And there it is there. So there's a pin bar here, so we may have a little fake out to come and tag this, which will then trap a lot of the retail traders that are sitting long, and then we could turn down. So anyway, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking for a short in this area, and we'll have to wait and see what happens at the open. Anyway, guys, I hope that helps you. You like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. Drop us a comment, it'd be even better. Love to engage with you. And stay safe, keep those stops tight, and enjoy the day. I'll catch you guys later. Cheers, man.